Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I want to show you how you can work with custom admin for your Django projects. So just to give you a quick demo of what we're going to build today, I do have my super admin. If you can see, localhost then / super admin. So this is the admin for the global admin who can manage clients. You can also add groups here, the payments, the indexing, that is just for global queries. Then you also have invoices. And then when you go on the other side, you can clearly see that this is different from the super admin. This is now for this tenant over here. Then it's as a path of admin portal. So we have the dashboard where the tenant admin can manage the members, the branches, and also they can also view the income statements as well as the loan application and products. That is what you're going to learn how to build in this one. So let's jump straight into the code and see the implementation. So inside my backend folder, let's go into the main project folder. Then inside settings.py file, the first thing that you need to do is that you need to set these two URLs over here. They're really important, and make sure that you add a Django tenant inside your installed application. Once that is done, the next thing that you need to do is that you need to set these settings over here. Let me just scroll at the top. You need to set the root URL configuration. That is going to be your project name, then tenant URLs. Then we are going to have the public schema URL configuration. So what the public schema URL configuration is, this is now for the public schema, because we have the tenant schema as well as the public schema. So this is going to be like for the home page. Then the tenant schema URL configuration is going to be the configuration for the tenant URLs. So that is going to be our next setting. We are going to set the public URLs as well as the tenant URLs. So remember, we're not going to have like the main urls.py file that is for the default Django projects. We are going to have like two main set of URLs. The first is the tenant urls.py and also the public urls.py. So let's head over to the first one and see how you can set up your first URL, and that is going to be the public urls.py. And the public urls.py is for the global admin, right? So let's open up the public urls.py. And then as first thing that you can see is that we are not using the default Django admin.site.urls. It's customized. We're using a custom URL over here. So it's super admin. Then we're having super admin.site.url and not the default admin.site.url. So the next thing is to see how we can actually set this one here, because you can see that we are importing it from an app called super admin. So that is something that you need to do. You need to create an app that's called super admin. That is going to be for our global admin. As you can see, it's at the bottom. And then you also have the client admin. This is going to be for our tenant admin. So let's first focus on the super admin here. We can see that it has been imported. So when you go down, when you scroll down to my super admin, this is where all the logic for the super admin will go. This is how it has been organized. Inside my super admin app, I've created a new directory that is called admin. That is what will hold all the admin related code. That's going to be all the models for our super admin. So if you scroll down, you can see that we have admin. Then I've structured in a way that we have like the billing admin, the client admin. The billing admin is going to contain everything billing from invoices and that. Then the client admin, this is now going to be for the client. Remember, we do have clients that you need to add, so I need to have like a separate module here to manage all the client admin. These are all different admins. You also have indexing just for the public index, then the invoicing admin, the M-Pesa transaction, subscription. These are all models. So instead of like having an admin.py, which you can already imagine could have been pretty big, to just put them all in a single admin.py, a better way is to structure them into different files. So we'll have like billing admin, client admin, Then once you've done this, once you've defined all your admin here, you can see we are saying admin.register, then we are registering the invoice, then we are using the model admin like you would have defined inside your admin.py, but now they are in separate files. Once you've defined all your models in different files, then you need one main file where we'll import everything. So if you open your admin.py, you're going to import all the models as well as all the admins that you just created. So you can see that we are importing all the models at the top first, then we are also importing the admins that we just created. So that is the second step. Import the models from the apps, then you also import the admins that we just created. Now once that is done, then this is just the first step that you need to do. You need to just use this super admin user admin site. This is going to just display the user, because you know we have different types of users. The first one is the super admin. So this is where we add the details. For example, we have the personal info section, the verification, the important dates and everything. Now this is what is going to define how the user is displayed inside the admin. Then the next setting that you're going to have is that we need to have this super admin site. This just allows you to override some of the settings, so you can control of this. The site header. Site header is what you see when you are logging in. So whenever you're logging in, you'll be able to see that you're going to have LandPoint super admin. So the site title, we also have the super admin portal. That is going to be the title of your site, and also the index title. This is going to be system management. And if you want fine grain control, you can also add an index template. For this case, you can just override it by going into your templates directory and creating a directory called admin, then super admin. This allows you to have like fine grain control of your admin. So if you go to templates, you can create an admin, one for super admin, another one for tenant. So let's open the tenant super admin, and then you can see that we have overridden the admin templates. Now here we can have the clients, the invoices and the payments for today, and that is what you can see here. The clients, you can see we have one client. The invoices, right now we only have one. So that is what the index template allows you to do. It allows you to override the default admin template, and now you can have control over. You can do all sort of styling that you want inside your admin. Then back to our super admin.py, we do have some permissions over here. We only want super users for this one. Then logging in, where you want to redirect the users after logging in. Now this is where it really gets important. You need to initialize this one. So super admin site is equal to super admin site, then you give it a name. This is the name that we are using, the super admin site. Okay, so this is what you are going to use to register all those model admins that we just created. So super admin site.register, we are registering the custom user, the client, as well as the admin that we just created. Then we also have profile and all the other settings. So once that is registered, we can go and just use it inside our public urls.py. As you can see in this section, we're no longer using the default Django admin.site.urls, but instead we are using the super admin. Now the next thing that you're going to do is just work on the client admin as well. So to just keep your app separated and also well structured, you need to create two of them. That one for the super admin app. So we also have the same for the client admin. So if you just come over here, the first thing that you notice that you have a directory for the client admin. Same thing, we have the branch admin. This is how we register our branch with all the fields, and also the manager link, and also just overriding the save method, the finance, the loan admin. Then we have the tenant admin. This is the main file where we import all the admins, as you can see, and as well as the models. Then we just customize our tenant admin site where we get the site header. I've also overridden the index, the main admin template for our tenant admin. So it's inside the admin, then tenant admin.py. We're just passing in some context it, for example the members count as well as the active loans. Now once that is done, we're just again initializing this tenant admin site with the class that we just created here. Then we register all the models and loan admins, and then once that is done, we can now come back to our main project folder. Then inside our tenant urls.py, we can use the custom tenant admin.site.urls. That is how you structure your admins, and that will allow you to have custom admin. So that is going to be it for our today's video on how to set your custom admin for your Django projects. So if you find this video useful, please make sure to give it a like. Also consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. So that's it for today, and see you in the next one.